Terry Fontenot just unveiled his shocking plans for the future. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, number one, Terry Fontenot is the GM for the Atlanta Falcons. And two, Terry Fontenot had his end of the year press conference where he outlaid or basically kind of answer questions on how the season went and the future of the organization. But in this presser, he said a lot about what was going on in the future and what you can expect for an Atlanta Falcons fan. Now, number one, the sentiment of this whole press conference, Terry Fontenot basically put all of this losing on him. He said, I am to blame solely, which I think that shows a lot of maturation going forward. But he said a lot of things. He was very transparent. I know people said he was like a used car salesman and talking around, but he gave us a lot of nuggets in this press conference, which a lot of people are shocked on. Number one item that Terry Fontenot essentially told us is Kyle Pitts will be traded. He essentially mentioned Kyle Pitts by name and said Kyle Pitts also was not a guy we knew he could perform here, but he hasn't been performing at that level. He said verbatim, Kyle Pitts is not performing like he did his rookie year, and he essentially hinted at the fact that they have or will be looking to trade him. Also, what was weird is he was talking about basically trades and scouting, and he was trying to reference his assistant GM. I think his name was Kyle Arthur or something like that. But he said Kyle Pitts, meaning Kyle Pitts was on the brain. He's trying to trade Kyle Pitts. And that was very apparent because we have never heard Terry Fontenot name drop a specific person. But he just came out and said Kyle Pitts has been playing terrible. And we would like him to be at the level he was. And he's not just performing there. So that's number one. That's a huge basically bombshell that will probably happen going forward. Second bombshell is that Younghoe Koo will be traded as well or cut. He essentially came out, Terry Fontenot, and said, we have been doing terrible in the kicking game. He said, quote, we missed 12 kicks, which is the league bottom, essentially identifying that Younghoe Koo isn't getting it done. He has identified two players, Kyle Pitts and Younghoe Koo, that have not been performing to standard. And because of that, he essentially is making it very obvious, not only that these guys are on the trading block, but they will not be Atlanta Falcons going forward. I think this is fair. I think Kyle Pitts hasn't lived up to the standard, and a lot of people are going to say, well, it's quarterback play. And that's true. Or it's scheme play, and that's true. But when you have a lot of great players, it's hard to get everyone the ball, and the scheme is not fitting Kyle Pitts. So you might as well get some value while you can. Also, Younghoe Koo, he hasn't been performing. Just simple as that. If a few other kicks went the other way, the Atlanta Falcons may be in the playoffs. And Terry Fontenot said that today, which is some truth and validity. Third item that Terry Fontenot basically hinted at and told us about the future is Kirk Cousins is playing backup QB. Now, I don't think this is the case, but he specifically said, we are comfortable with Kirk Cousins being the backup QB, essentially saying we are not cutting Kirk Cousins before the deadline. The thing is about this move, whether we cut Kirk Cousins before the specific, I think it's March 1st deadline, or keep him, we're still losing a lot of money. And I think Terry Fontenot is doing this to play a power move to basically not shove it back to Kirk Cousins, but let Kirk Cousins know, hey, we're not just going to cut you and let you go wherever. Like, you either play for us or you get traded. You waive your no trade clause. There's not going to be like a perfect situation for you. Like, either you go or you stay. And I think because of that, he essentially laid the foundation. Teams, we're not cutting him. Don't get your mind right in trying to get him from the free agent market. You either trade for him, or we figure out a trade, or basically you just wait. Also, he said, which was very interesting about Kirk Cousins, if teams are interested, if we're able to get a deal together, then we'll trade him. He essentially said all parties have to be given a thumbs up, but if all parties give a thumbs up, he is open to trade Kirk Cousins, which I thought was reassuring because from reports we heard about a month ago, the Atlanta Falcons were going to cut Kirk Cousins. And he came out, Terry Fontenot, and said that is not true. Last thing that basically tells the future, tells the Atlanta Falcons plan. Terry Fontenot came out and said, we are essentially open to trading down out of the first round draft pick. Essentially, the Atlanta Falcons currently are 15th, and Terry Fontenot says, hey, we're open for business. If anyone presents us an offer where we can trade back and get some more draft assets, we will do that. He said that in the press conference today. I've never heard a GM kind of come out and say, look, we're willing to trade. 15 pick is okay, but we want to get more future draft picks. He essentially said that today. So Terry Fontenot really giving us a lot of information to unpack. I don't think he was trying to trick anybody. I think he was being very, very, very honest with the media. And to be honest, I appreciate that because that's something we deserve. We've been playing Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris's games, and they haven't been producing results. And now it's only fair for us to give the fans and the media a straight up answer to all these questions to help us out. So, in recap, here's what's going forward. Here's what the Atlanta Falcons are going to do. They're trading Kyle Pitts. That's obvious. Terry Fontenot called him out by name and said, he needs to do better. We need to see more out of that tight end position. Too bad Kyle Pitts is about to get traded. 2, he's either going to cut or trade Younghoe Koo. I think he's going to cut Younghoe Koo. He essentially said 12 field goals missed is not acceptable, and because of that, we're going to cut him. 3, Kirk Cousins is either going to get traded or be a backup QB. A lot of people say that is the most expensive backup QB. I don't think the Falcons care. They don't really care in this situation, and I think they're waiting for that perfect situation to trade Kirk Cousins because it's a lose-lose situation. You might as well get a little bit while you can. And last but not least, like I said, the Atlanta Falcons are open to trading that 15th pick. They're open to trading down, trading back, getting a guy that still can help the Atlanta Falcons, but getting additional trade picks in the future. If you agree or disagree with what I'm saying or the sentiment of this interview, aka press conference, leave a comment down below. Also, leave a comment down below on what you think about trading Kyle Pitts, Kirk Cousins, or trading back for maybe that 25th or 30th round in the draft. And if you want to see more videos like this, check this one out right here. And like always, peace.